Discovery and First Contact. In the vast expanse of the Milky Way, Earth had long been considered an unremarkable planet by the Galactic Council. That changed on the day Dr. Samantha Chen, a brilliant astrophysicist, detected an anomaly in the cosmic background radiation. Little did she know that her discovery would catapult humanity into the forefront of galactic politics. Samantha sat in her dimly lit lab, her eyes fixed on the holographic display before her. The unusual energy signature pulsed rhythmically, defying all known laws of physics. She ran her fingers through her disheveled hair, a mix of excitement and trepidation coursing through her veins. "This can't be right," she muttered, double-checking her calculations. But the numbers didn't lie. Whatever she had found, it was big. As Samantha prepared to share her findings with her colleagues, a blinding light flooded the lab. She shielded her eyes, heart racing as the air crackled with static electricity. When the light faded, she found herself face to face with a being unlike anything she had ever seen. The alien stood nearly 8 feet tall, its iridescent skin shimmering like oil on water. Multiple eyes blinked in unison, studying Samantha with a mixture of curiosity and caution. When it spoke, the words formed directly in her mind. "Greetings, human. I am Zixthar, emissary of the Galactic Council. Your discovery has not gone unnoticed." Samantha's scientific mind kicked into overdrive, 1,000 questions forming on the tip of her tongue. But before she could voice any of them, Zixthar continued. "Your species has inadvertently tapped into the cosmic nexus, a power source that binds the universe together. This complicates things." Over the next few hours, Zixthar explained the intricacies of galactic politics to an increasingly overwhelmed Samantha. The Galactic Council, a conglomerate of advanced civilizations, had long debated the fate of emerging species like humanity. Some advocated for guidance and inclusion, while others pushed for isolation or even preemptive measures against potential threats. As dawn broke, Samantha found herself aboard Zixthar's ship, hurtling towards the edge of the solar system. The alien had insisted on presenting her to the Council immediately. Earth's future hung in the balance, and Samantha was now its unwitting ambassador. The journey to the Council's headquarters took mere minutes, thanks to technology that bent the very fabric of space-time. Samantha's mind reeled as she tried to process the implications of everything she had learned. Humanity was not alone in the universe, and their place among the stars was far from secure. As they approached a massive space station that dwarfed anything humans had ever constructed, Zixthar turned to Samantha, his multifaceted eyes reflecting the starlight. "Be prepared, Dr. Chen. The Council will test you, challenge you, and perhaps even threaten you. But remember this: your species has achieved something remarkable. The cosmic nexus responds to few, and its choice of humanity is unprecedented." Samantha nodded, straightening her lab coat and squaring her shoulders. She may not have been trained for interstellar diplomacy, but she was a scientist at heart. And if there was one thing scientists excelled at, it was facing the unknown with courage and curiosity. The docking procedure was seamless, and before Samantha knew it, she was standing before the Galactic Council. Beams of all shapes, sizes, and compositions filled the circular chamber. Some floated in anti-gravity fields, while others pulsed with energy that defied classification. At the center of it all stood the Council's leader, a beam of pure light that called itself the Luminary. Its voice echoed through the chamber and directly into Samantha's mind. "Dr. Samantha Chen of Earth, you stand before us at a crossroads of cosmic significance. Your species has unwittingly grasped the power that has shaped the destiny of galaxies. We must now decide whether humanity is ready for the responsibility that comes with such knowledge." Samantha took a deep breath, acutely aware that the fate of her entire planet rested on her next words. She thought of her family back on Earth, of the countless generations that had looked up at the stars and dreamed of this moment. With newfound determination, she began to speak. "Honored members of the Galactic Council, I stand before you not just as a scientist, but as a representative of humanity. We may be young in the cosmic scale, but our potential is boundless. We have faced adversity, overcome our own limitations, and constantly strive to better ourselves and our understanding of the universe. As Samantha spoke, she could feel the attention of the entire council focused on her. Some members leaned forward, intrigued by her words, while others remained impassive. She pressed on, her voice growing stronger with each sentence. Yes, we have made mistakes. Our history is not without its dark chapters. But we have also created art that can move the soul, music that can bridge cultural divides, and scientific discoveries that have unlocked the secrets of our world. If given the chance, I believe humanity can contribute greatly to the galactic community. The luminary's glow intensified, and Samantha felt a gentle probe in her mind. Images flashed before her eyes. Earth's history, its triumphs and failures, its potential futures. She realized the council was not just judging her words, but the very essence of humanity. As the mental connection faded, the luminary addressed the council. We have much to discuss. The human will be escorted to temporary quarters while we deliberate. Zixthar led Samantha from the chamber, his expression unreadable. As they walked through corridors that seemed to defy Euclidean geometry, he finally spoke. You have given them much to consider, Dr. Chen. But be warned, not all members of the council view humanity's potential as a positive thing. Some see it as a threat to the established order. Samantha nodded, the weight of responsibility settling heavily on her shoulders. As she entered her assigned quarters, a room that seemed to shift and change to accommodate her needs, she couldn't help but wonder what the future held for Earth and its people. Little did she know that far away, on the blue planet she called home, others were about to join the cosmic stage. Humanity's journey among the stars had only just begun, and the universe would never be the same. The Galactic Council's dilemma. As Samantha paced in her quarters, her mind racing with the implications of her impromptu speech to the Galactic Council, events were unfolding back on Earth that would further complicate humanity's precarious position in the cosmos. In a top-secret military facility nestled deep within the Rocky Mountains, General Marcus Stryker stood before a group of the world's most brilliant minds. His weathered face, etched with the lines of countless battles both on and off the field, was set in a grim expression. Ladies and gentlemen, he began, his voice carrying the weight of authority. What I'm about to share with you is classified at the highest level. 6 hours ago, we detected an unknown object entering Earth's atmosphere. The room erupted in murmurs, but Stryker raised a hand to silence them. This wasn't a meteor or any known space debris. It maneuvered, landed, and then disappeared. Dr. Aisha Kapoor, a renowned quantum physicist, leaned forward. Disappeared. As in cloaking technology. Stryker nodded. That's our best guess. But here's where it gets interesting. He tapped a console, and a holographic display sprang to life in the center of the room. It showed a pulsing energy signature that looked eerily familiar to what Samantha had discovered. This energy reading was detected at the landing site. It doesn't match anything in our databases, and it's playing havoc with our instruments. Dr. Kapoor, I believe this falls under your area of expertise. Aisha studied the readout, her mind already formulating theories. General, this shouldn't be possible. It's as if the laws of physics are being rewritten on a quantum level. As the scientists debated the implications, a junior officer burst into the room. Sir, we've lost contact with Dr. Chen and the Deep Space Monitoring Station. Stryker's eyes narrowed. It seems our visitors aren't content with just saying hello. Ladies and gentlemen, as of this moment, we are at DEFCON 2. Humanity may be facing its greatest threat or its greatest opportunity. Meanwhile, light years away, the Galactic Council was embroiled in a heated debate. The chamber, once a model of decorum, now echoed with the cacophony of 100 alien voices. The luminary's glow pulsed, calling for order. Esteemed members of the Council, we must approach this situation with clarity and wisdom. The emergence of a new species capable of harnessing the cosmic nexus is unprecedented. Zixthar, standing as Earth's impromptu advocate, spoke up. Humanity has shown remarkable adaptability and ingenuity. Their potential, if properly guided, could benefit us all. But not all were convinced. A being composed of swirling dark matter, known as the Void Whisper, countered. And what if that potential is turned against us? Humans have a history of violence and conquest. Giving them access to the Nexus could spell doom for the galaxy. The debate raged on, with factions forming and alliances shifting. Some saw humanity as a threat to be contained, others as an opportunity to be exploited, and a few as potential allies in the cosmic order. As the council argued, Samantha was led back into the chamber. The luminary addressed her directly, its voice resonating with an undertone of concern. Dr. Chen, new developments on your homeworld have come to our attention. It seems your military has detected our presence. How do you think your leaders will respond to the knowledge that they are not alone in the universe? Samantha's mind raced. She knew of humanity's tendency to react with fear to the unknown, but she also believed in their capacity for wonder and cooperation. Honored luminary, she began, choosing her words carefully. Humanity has long dreamed of contact with extraterrestrial life. While there may be initial fear and confusion, I believe that given the chance, we would embrace the opportunity to join the galactic community. The Void Whisper's voice cut through the chamber like a cold wind. Pretty words, but actions speak louder. Even now, your military prepares for conflict. Perhaps a preemptive strike would be the wisest course. Samantha's heart raced. She had to find a way to convince the council that humanity was worth the risk. Please, she pleaded, give us a chance to prove ourselves. Yes, we have flaws, but we also have the capacity for great compassion and innovation. Throughout our history, we've faced challenges that seemed insurmountable, yet we've always found a way to overcome them. As Samantha spoke, a commotion at the entrance to the chamber drew everyone's attention. A new figure strode in, its form constantly shifting between various alien species. The council members reacted with a mixture of awe and apprehension. The luminary's glow intensified. The shapeshifter, your presence here is unexpected. The newcomer's voice seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. I've observed the humans, lived among them undetected. They are fascinating, chaotic, yes, but with a spark of something truly unique. The shapeshifter turned to Samantha, its form settling into a mirror image of her. You fear us, yet you stand here with courage. You doubt yourselves, yet you've achieved what many thought impossible. Humanity is a paradox, and perhaps that is exactly what the galaxy needs. Back on Earth, Aisha Kapoor had made a breakthrough. Her eyes wide with excitement, she burst into General Stryker's office. Sir, I figured it out. The energy signature, it's not just bending space-time. It's tapping into the very fabric of reality itself. Stryker raised an eyebrow. In English, Doctor. Aisha took a deep breath. Imagine the universe as a vast ocean. What we've detected is like a whirlpool, a point where the currents of reality converge. If we could harness this energy, we'd have power beyond imagination. Stryker finished, the implications dawning on him. Can we replicate it? Aisha nodded hesitantly. Theoretically, yes, but the risks are enormous. One miscalculation, and we could tear a hole in the universe itself. Stryker's face hardened. The potential benefits outweigh the risks. Assemble your team, Dr. Kapoor. As of this moment, Project Nexus is your top priority. As Earth took its first tentative steps towards cosmic power, the Galactic Council's debate reached a fever pitch. The shapeshifter's testimony had swayed some, but others remained unconvinced. The Void Whisper's dark form roiled with agitation. You would risk the stability of the galaxy on the potential of these primitives. They will bring chaos and destruction. Zixthar countered. Every species represented here was once considered primitive. It is not our place to stifle the growth of an emerging civilization. The luminary, having observed silently for some time, finally spoke. There is truth in both arguments. Humanity's potential is undeniable, But so too is the risk they pose. We need more information before we can make a final decision. Turning to Samantha, the luminary continued, Dr. Chen, we will send a delegation to Earth. They will observe, interact, and report back. The fate of your species will depend on what they find. You will return with them, to serve as a liaison between our civilizations. Samantha's mind reeled. She was being sent back home, but with the weight of humanity's future on her shoulders. I understand. Thank you for this opportunity. As preparations were made for the delegation's journey to Earth, Samantha found herself alone with the shapeshifter. Its form had settled into a nondescript humanoid shape, but its eyes held the wisdom of countless lifetimes. You carry a heavy burden, it said, its voice gentle. But remember, the greatest strength of your species is not in your technology or your intellect, but in your heart, your capacity for empathy, for love, for self-sacrifice. These are the qualities that will ultimately determine your place among the stars. Samantha nodded, drawing strength from the unexpected words of encouragement. As she boarded the ship that would take her back to Earth, she couldn't help but feel that humanity stood on the brink of a new era. Whether it would be an age of unprecedented growth and cooperation, or the beginning of a cosmic conflict that could reshape the galaxy, only time would tell. The journey back to Earth was swift, but for Samantha, it felt like an eternity. Her mind raced with questions and concerns. How would humanity react to the delegation? Could she convince her own people to embrace this opportunity rather than react with fear? As the ship entered Earth's atmosphere, cloaked to avoid detection, Samantha gazed out at the blue marble she called home. From up here, the conflicts and divisions that plagued humanity seemed insignificant in the face of the vast cosmos. Yet she knew that what happened on this small planet in the coming days would ripple across the galaxy. The ship landed in a remote area, its advanced technology easily evading Earth's detection systems. As Samantha stepped onto familiar soil, she took a deep breath, savoring the crisp air and the feel of Earth's gravity. Zixthar emerged behind her, along with 3 other alien beings, representatives chosen by the Council to assess humanity. Remember, Dr. Chen, Zixthar said, our presence here must be revealed carefully. The Council has granted us some latitude in how we proceed, but the stakes are high. Samantha nodded, the weight of responsibility settling heavily on her shoulders. I understand. We should make contact with my government first. They need to be prepared before we reveal ourselves to the world. As they discussed their next move, a low rumble in the distance caught their attention. Samantha's eyes widened as she recognized the sound of approaching military vehicles. Impossible, she breathed. They shouldn't have been able to detect us. Zixthar's multiple eyes blinked rapidly, a sign of concern. It seems your species is full of surprises, Dr. Chen. Perhaps this first contact will happen sooner than we anticipated. As the rumbling grew louder, Samantha steeled herself for what was to come. Humanity's first official encounter with extraterrestrial life was about to begin, and the future of Earth and the galaxy hung in the balance. Humanity's unexpected ally. The convoy of military vehicles crested the hill, kicking up dust as they approached the landing site. Samantha's heart raced as she recognized the insignia on the lead vehicle. It belonged to General Stryker's Special Operations Division. Dr. Chen, Zixthar's telepathic voice resonated in her mind. Your military approaches. What course of action do you recommend? Samantha took a deep breath, weighing their options. We need to show them we're not a threat. Let me approach them first. As the vehicles ground to a halt, soldiers poured out, weapons at the ready. From the lead vehicle emerged a familiar face, General Marcus Stryker himself, his weathered features set in a grim expression. Dr. Samantha Chen, he called out, his voice carrying across the field. You've been missing for 72 hours. Care to explain why you're in the company of unexpected guests? Samantha stepped forward, hands raised in a gesture of peace. General Stryker, I know this looks unusual, but I assure you, we come in peace. These beings are representatives from the Galactic Council. They're here to assess humanity's readiness to join the interstellar community. Stryker's eyes narrowed, flicking between Samantha and the alien delegation. That's a hell of a story, Doctor, but given recent events, you'll understand if we're a bit skeptical. Just then, Dr. Aisha Kapoor emerged from one of the vehicles, her eyes wide with wonder as she took in the alien beings. General, she breathed, the energy readings, they're off the charts. It's just like the signature we detected earlier. Stryker nodded, his hand never straying far from his sidearm. Dr. Chen, I'm going to need you and your friends to come with us. We have a lot to discuss. As tensions mounted, the shapeshifter, who had been observing silently, suddenly morphed into an exact replica of General Stryker. The real Stryker stumbled back, shock evident on his face. Perhaps, the shapeshifter said, its voice a perfect mimic of the general's. This will help ease your concerns. We could have infiltrated your world at any time, yet we choose to reveal ourselves openly. The soldiers' weapons wavered, uncertainty replacing their initial aggression. Stryker, recovering his composure, raised a hand to steady his troops. Stand down, he ordered, his voice gruff but controlled. Dr. Chen, you and your delegation will accompany us to a secure facility. We need to inform the world leaders of this development. As they boarded the military vehicles, Samantha couldn't help but feel a mix of relief and apprehension. The first hurdle had been cleared, but the real challenge was yet to come. The journey to the secure facility was tense, with soldiers casting nervous glances at the alien visitors. Dr. Kapoor, however, could barely contain her excitement, peppering Zixthar with questions about their technology and the nature of the cosmic nexus. Upon arriving at the facility, a state-of-the-art underground complex hidden beneath an unassuming mountain, they were ushered into a large conference room. Screens lined the walls, displaying the faces of world leaders and top scientists who had been hastily assembled for this unprecedented meeting. General Stryker took charge, his voice commanding attention. Ladies and gentlemen, what you are about to hear will change the course of human history. Dr. Chen, if you would. Samantha stepped forward, her scientific training kicking in as she began to explain the events of the past 72 hours. She spoke of the Galactic Council, the cosmic nexus, and the decision that now faced humanity. As she finished, a cacophony of voices erupted from the screens. Questions, demands, and expressions of disbelief poured in from all corners of the globe. The President of the United States, her face etched with concern, spoke up. Dr. Chen, while this is undoubtedly a monumental discovery, we must consider the security implications. How do we know these beings don't pose a threat to Earth? Before Samantha could respond, Zixthar stepped forward. His telepathic voice, now projected through the room's speakers, resonated with calm authority. Esteemed leaders of Earth, we understand your concerns. We come not as conquerors, but as observers and potential allies. The power of the cosmic nexus is both a gift and a responsibility. How humanity chooses to wield it will determine your place in the galactic community. The room fell silent as the implications of Zixthar's words sank in. It was Dr. Kapoor who broke the silence, her voice trembling with excitement. The energy signature we detected, it's connected to this cosmic nexus, isn't it? We've been working on harnessing it, but we've only scratched the surface of its potential. The shapeshifter, who had reverted to its nondescript humanoid form, nodded. Your species has an innate connection to the nexus, a rarity in the galaxy. It is both your greatest strength and your greatest vulnerability. General Stryker's eyes narrowed. Vulnerability? Are you saying we're in danger? The Void Whisper, who had remained silent until now, spoke up, its voice sending chills through the room. There are those in the galaxy who would seek to exploit your connection to the Nexus, or eliminate you to prevent its power from spreading. A murmur of concern rippled through the assembled leaders. The Chinese premier, his face grave, addressed the alien delegation. What assurances can you offer that your Galactic Council won't simply decide to eliminate us if we don't meet their standards? Zixthar's multiple eyes blinked in what Samantha had come to recognize as a sign of contemplation. We cannot offer absolute assurances. The Council's decision will be based on our observations and humanity's actions in the coming days. But know this, in all my cycles of existence, I have never encountered a species with your unique blend of potential and paradox. As the discussion continued, with world leaders debating the risks and opportunities presented by this cosmic revelation, Samantha found herself drawn into a quiet conversation with the shapeshifter. Your people stand at a crossroads, it said, its form subtly shifting to mirror Samantha's posture. The path you choose now will echo across the stars for eons to come. Samantha nodded, the weight of the moment pressing down on her. How can we prove ourselves worthy? We've made so many mistakes throughout our history. The shapeshifter's form rippled, briefly taking on the appearance of various historical figures, scientists, philosophers, and leaders who had shaped human civilization. It is not perfection the Council seeks, but potential. Your species has a unique capacity for growth, for learning from your mistakes. It is this adaptability that makes you both fascinating and frightening to the established order of the galaxy. As they spoke, Dr. Kapoor approached, her eyes alight with scientific curiosity. I've been analyzing the data from our Nexus experiments, she said, her voice low but intense. If what you're saying is true, we've only glimpsed a fraction of its potential. With your guidance, we could make leaps in science and technology that would have taken us centuries to achieve on our own. The shapeshifter's form settled into a mirror image of Aisha, a subtle smile playing on its lips. Careful, Doctor. It is not just technological advancement the Council will be watching for. How you choose to use that knowledge is equally important. Their conversation was interrupted by General Stryker, who had been in intense discussion with the world leaders. Dr. Chen. Dr. Kapoor, he called, his voice gruff but tinged with an unfamiliar note of uncertainty. We've reached a decision. All eyes turned to the general as he addressed the room. After careful consideration and in light of the unique circumstances we find ourselves in, the United Nations Security Council has voted to establish a joint task force. This team will work alongside our visitors to explore the potential of the cosmic nexus and prepare humanity for possible integration into the galactic community. A ripple of excitement and apprehension swept through the room. Samantha felt a mix of relief and trepidation. It was a step in the right direction, but she knew the real challenges were yet to come. The President of the United States spoke up, her voice carrying the weight of authority. Dr. Chen, given your unique position as our first contact with the Galactic Council, you will lead this task force. Dr. Kapoor, your expertise with the Nexus energy will be crucial. General Stryker will oversee security and military liaison. Zixthar's telepathic voice resonated with approval. A wise decision. Cooperation and understanding will be key in the days to come. As the meeting adjourned and plans were set in motion, Samantha found herself standing before a window overlooking the mountainous landscape. The world seemed both larger and smaller than ever before. The shapeshifter appeared beside her, its form now a perfect blend of human and alien features. You seem troubled, Dr. Chen. Samantha sighed, her gaze fixed on the horizon. I can't help but wonder if we're ready for this. The power of the Nexus, the responsibilities that come with it. What if we make the wrong choice? The shapeshifter's voice was gentle, yet filled with ancient wisdom. The fact that you ask these questions is precisely why your species has hope. It is not certainty the universe rewards, but the courage to venture into the unknown, to face the consequences of one's choices, and to learn from them. As they stood there, contemplating the future that lay before them, alarms suddenly blared throughout the facility. General Stryker's voice crackled over the intercom, urgency evident in his tone. We have multiple unidentified objects entering Earth's atmosphere. They're not responding to hails, and their energy signatures. They're like nothing we've ever seen. Zixthar's multiple eyes widened, a clear sign of alarm. It cannot be. They'd found us. Who? Samantha demanded, her heart racing. Who's found us? The Void Whisper's cold voice cut through the chaos. The Harvesters, a species that seeks to drain worlds of their nexus energy. If they're here, then Earth is in grave danger, the shapeshifter finished, its form solidifying into a battle-ready stance. As chaos erupted around them, with military personnel scrambling to defensive positions and scientists rushing to analyze the new threat, Samantha realized that humanity's trial by fire had come sooner than anyone had anticipated. The choices they made in the next few hours would not only determine Earth's fate, but potentially the balance of power in the entire galaxy. With determination setting in her eyes, Samantha turned to her alien allies. We need to act fast. Earth may not be ready for full galactic integration, but we're sure as hell not going down without a fight. As the first reports of strange ships appearing in skies around the world began to pour in, humanity found itself facing its greatest challenge yet. But with their newfound allies and the untapped potential of the cosmic nexus at their fingertips, there was still hope. The battle for Earth's future was about to begin. The battle for Earth's future. The command center of the underground facility was a hive of frantic activity. Screens displayed real-time footage of the Harvester ships entering Earth's atmosphere. Their sleek, obsidian forms a stark contrast to the blue sky. General Stryker barked orders into a communication device, his face etched with the gravity of the situation. I want every available fighter in the air 5 minutes ago. Coordinate with our allies. We need a global response to this threat. Samantha, Dr. Kapoor, and their alien allies huddled around a holographic display of Earth, watching as red dots representing the Harvester ships multiplied at an alarming rate. This is unprecedented. Zixthar's telepathic voice was tinged with concern. The Harvesters usually target isolated worlds, not those under observation by the Council. The Void Whisper's dark form roiled with agitation. They must have detected the nascent nexus energy. Earth's potential has made it a prime target. Dr. Kapoor's eyes widened as she studied the data streaming in. The energy signatures of these ships, their magnitudes beyond anything we've ever encountered. Our weapons might as well be slingshots against tanks. Samantha's mind raced, searching for a solution. What about the nexus energy? You said humanity has an innate connection to it. Can we use that to our advantage? The shapeshifter, its form constantly shifting between various battle-ready entities, nodded. It's possible, but dangerous. Unleashing that much raw power without proper control could be catastrophic. More catastrophic than letting these Harvesters drain our world. General Stryker interjected, his voice gruff but determined. Before anyone could respond, a deafening boom shook the facility. Dust rained from the ceiling as the lights flickered ominously. We're out of time, Samantha declared, her voice steady despite the fear coursing through her. Dr. Kapoor, we need to access the nexus energy now. Zixthar, can you guide us? The alien emissary's multiple eyes blinked rapidly. I can try, but the process is usually undertaken over years of training, not minutes. We don't have years, Samantha replied, her determination evident. We'll have to improvise. As they rushed to the facility's main laboratory, reports flooded in from around the globe. The Harvester ships had begun their assault, targeting major cities and energy installations. Earth's military forces were fighting back valiantly, but their weapons seemed to have little effect on the alien vessels. In New York, the Statue of Liberty stood defiant as Harvester ships swarmed around it, their energy beams carving swaths of destruction through the city. In Beijing, the Great Wall became a last line of defense as Chinese forces mounted a desperate counterattack. And in the skies over London, RAF pilots engaged in dogfights that would have seemed impossible mere hours ago. Back in the lab, Dr. Kapoor worked feverishly to modify the experimental Nexus reactor they had been developing. Samantha stood at the center of a hastily constructed array of sensors and emitters, her heart pounding as she prepared to attempt something never before tried by a human. Remember, Zixthar's voice echoed in her mind. The Nexus is not just a source of power. It's a living connection to the very fabric of the universe. Your intent, your will, is as important as any technical process. Samantha nodded, closing her eyes and trying to center herself amidst the chaos. She thought of Earth, of all the beauty and potential it held, of the billions of lives hanging in the balance, of the future that could be, if only they could survive this moment. As Dr. Kapoor initiated the sequence, Samantha felt a surge of energy unlike anything she had ever experienced. It was as if every atom in her body was suddenly connected to every other atom in the universe. Colors she had never seen before danced behind her closed eyelids, and knowledge beyond human comprehension flooded her mind. For a moment, she thought she would be overwhelmed, lost in the vastness of the cosmic nexus. But then she felt other presences joining her. Dr. Kapoor, her scientific brilliance a beacon in the cosmic storm. General Stryker, his unwavering determination a pillar of strength. And billions of others, the collective will of humanity pushing back against the darkness. Outside, the Harvester's assault faltered as their ships encountered an unexpected resistance. A shimmering field of energy began to coalesce around the Earth, deflecting their attacks and disrupting their harvesting beams. In the skies above major cities, human pilots found their weapons suddenly enhanced, streaks of Nexus energy trailing behind their missiles and tearing through the once impervious hulls of the Harvester ships. The shapeshifter, observing the unfolding battle from multiple perspectives simultaneously, marveled at the sight. Incredible. They're not just defending themselves. They're evolving, adapting in real time to the threat. The Void Whisper, its dark form pulsing with an unfamiliar energy, added, "This is why the Harvesters feared them, why some on the Council wanted them contained. The potential of humanity, unleashed, is a force that could reshape the galaxy." Back in the lab, Samantha struggled to maintain her connection to the Nexus. The power flowing through her was intoxicating, but she could feel it fraying the edges of her consciousness. Through the cosmic link, she sensed the battle raging around the world, felt the triumphs and losses of every engagement. "Hold on, Dr. Chen." Dr. Kapoor's voice seemed to come from both beside her and from within the Nexus itself. "We're turning the tide, but the strain on your system is reaching critical levels." Samantha gritted her teeth, pushing back against the encroaching darkness that threatened to engulf her mind. "We can't stop now. Earth needs more time." As if in response to her determination, a surge of energy pulsed through the Nexus connection. Around the world, humans found themselves imbued with abilities beyond their wildest dreams. Soldiers leaped impossible distances, scientists unraveled complex problems in moments, and ordinary citizens performed feats of strength and courage that would become the stuff of legend. In orbit, astronauts aboard the International Space Station watched in awe as tendrils of Nexus energy reached out into space, entangling and disabling Harvester ships with ease. The Harvesters, facing a level of resistance they had never encountered before, began to retreat. Their ships, once sleek and terrifying, now bore the scars of battle as they fled Earth's atmosphere. As the last Harvester ship disappeared from Earth's sensors, a cheer went up around the world. Humanity had faced its greatest threat and emerged victorious. But the celebration was short-lived. In the lab, Samantha collapsed, the strain of channeling the Nexus energy finally overtaking her. As Dr. Kapoor and the others rushed to her aid, alarms blared throughout the facility. "The Nexus reactor is overloading," Dr. Kapoor shouted, her fingers flying over the controls. "If we don't shut it down, the resulting explosion could tear a hole in the fabric of space-time itself." General Stryker's voice crackled over the intercom. "We're picking up massive energy fluctuations all over the globe. Whatever Dr. Chen did, it's having some serious aftereffects." As they struggled to contain the growing catastrophe, a new presence made itself known. The luminary, leader of the Galactic Council, appeared in the center of the lab, its form a beam of pure light and energy. "You have done well, humans," its voice resonated through the minds of all present. "But the test is not yet over. The power you have awakened must be controlled, or it will destroy not just your world, but countless others. Samantha, barely conscious, looked up at the luminous being. How? How do we stop it? The luminary's form pulsed, and suddenly Samantha found herself no longer in the lab, but in a vast cosmic expanse. Around her, she saw the threads of the universe itself, pulsing with nexus energy. The choice is yours, Samantha Chen. The luminary's voice echoed through the cosmos. You can attempt to contain this power, to lock it away and return your species to its former state. Or you can embrace it, guide your people into a new era of cosmic awareness. But be warned, with great power comes great responsibility, and the eyes of the galaxy will be upon you. Samantha floated in the cosmic void, the weight of the decision pressing down on her. She thought of all that humanity had achieved, of their potential for both great good and terrible destruction. She thought of the harvesters, of the threats that lurked in the depths of space, and she thought of the wonder, the sheer awe she had felt when first connecting to the Nexus. With a deep breath, she made her choice. Back in the lab, Samantha's eyes snapped open, glowing with cosmic energy. She rose to her feet, her movements fluid and purposeful. "Dr. Kapoor," she said, her voice carrying an otherworldly resonance, "recalibrate the reactor. We're not shutting it down. We're stabilizing it." As Samantha placed her hands on the reactor, streams of Nexus energy flowed from her, intertwining with the machine's systems. Around the world, the chaotic energy fluctuations began to settle into a steady, pulsing rhythm. The luminary, still present in the lab, nodded in approval. "You have chosen a difficult path, but one with great potential. The Council will be watching with great interest." As the immediate crisis passed, the full implications of what had occurred began to sink in. Humanity had not just repelled an alien invasion. They had taken their first steps into a larger, more complex universe. General Stryker, looking both awed and concerned, turned to Samantha. "What happens now, Doctor?" Samantha, the glow of the Nexus still lingering in her eyes, smiled. "Now, General, we prepare. The galaxy is watching, and humanity has a lot to prove." As news of the battle and its aftermath spread around the world, a new era dawned for Earth. The age of cosmic isolation was over. Humanity, with its newfound connection to the cosmic nexus, was ready to take its place among the stars. But with this new power came new challenges. The harvesters might have been defeated, but other threats lurked in the vast expanse of space. And closer to home, the sudden leap in human capabilities brought its own set of problems. As Samantha looked out at the world through her Nexus-enhanced senses, she knew that the real work was just beginning. Humanity had survived its trial by fire, but the true test of their worth was yet to come. The battle for Earth's future had been won, but the war for humanity's place in the cosmos was just beginning. A new era of cooperation. In the months following the Harvester invasion, Earth underwent a transformation unlike anything in human history. The global connection to the cosmic nexus had awakened abilities in people across the planet, leading to advancements in science, technology, and understanding that would have seemed impossible just a year ago. Samantha Chen, now revered as the Nexus Conduit, found herself at the center of this new world order. As she stood before the United Nations General Assembly, she could sense the mixture of hope, fear, and anticipation emanating from the gathered leaders. "Distinguished representatives," she began, her voice carrying a hint of the cosmic power that now flowed through her. "We stand at the dawn of a new era for humanity. Our connection to the cosmic nexus has opened doors we never knew existed, but it has also placed upon us a great responsibility." As she spoke, holographic displays showed the marvels that had been achieved in the short time since the invasion. Cities were being rebuilt with advanced materials that seemed to defy the laws of physics. Diseases that had plagued humanity for centuries were being cured through Nexus-enhanced medical techniques. And in orbit, the first truly interstellar spacecraft was nearing completion, built with a fusion of human ingenuity and cosmic understanding. "But we must proceed with caution," Samantha continued, her tone growing serious. The galaxy is vast, filled with wonders and dangers beyond our previous comprehension. The Galactic Council is watching, evaluating our worthiness to join their ranks. And there are those, like the harvesters, who would seek to exploit or destroy us. In the audience, Dr. Aisha Kapoor nodded in agreement. Her work with the Nexus had led to breakthroughs in energy production that had all but eliminated Earth's dependence on fossil fuels. But she, like Samantha, understood the double-edged nature of their newfound power. General Stryker, sitting beside Dr. Kapoor, remained stoic. The military implications of the Nexus connection were not lost on him, and he had been working tirelessly to prepare Earth's defenses for future extraterrestrial threats. As Samantha concluded her address, a familiar shimmer in the air announced the arrival of their alien allies. Zixthar, the shapeshifter, and even the Void Whisper materialized on the stage, causing a stir among the assembled leaders. Zixthar stepped forward, his telepathic voice resonating through the hall. Esteemed leaders of Earth, the Galactic Council has observed your progress with great interest. Your response to the Harvester threat and your subsequent handling of the Nexus energy has impressed many. But challenges remain. The shapeshifter, its form a blend of human and alien features, added, your species stands at a crossroads. The power you now wield could lead to greatness or to ruin. The choice, as always, is yours. As the assembly digested these words, alarms suddenly blared throughout the building. General Stryker was immediately on his feet, barking orders into his communication device. We have multiple anomalies appearing in orbit, he announced, his voice tense. They don't match any known signatures, Harvester or otherwise. The hall erupted in panic, but Samantha raised her hands, calling for calm. Closing her eyes, she reached out with her Nexus-enhanced senses, probing the disturbances in orbit. They're not hostile, she said after a moment, her eyes snapping open. They're refugees. As if on cue, the main screens in the hall flickered to life, showing images from orbital satellites. A motley collection of spacecraft, some seemingly held together by little more than hope and improvised repairs, had appeared in Earth's orbit. A transmission crackled through the speakers, a voice speaking in a language no human had ever heard before. But thanks to the Nexus connection, Samantha and many others found they could understand. People of Earth, the alien voice pleaded, we seek sanctuary. Our worlds have fallen to the harvesters, and rumors of your victory have spread through the galaxy. We come seeking hope and offering our knowledge and skills in exchange for refuge. The hall fell silent as the implications of this development sank in. Earth, so recently on the brink of destruction, was now being asked to become a safe haven for other species fleeing cosmic threats. The President of the United States was the first to speak. Dr. Chen, what are we dealing with here? Can we trust these refugees? Samantha closed her eyes again, reaching out to the ships in orbit. Through the Nexus, she could sense the fear, hope, and desperation of the beings aboard. They're telling the truth, she said finally. And I think this is our next test. The Void Whisper, its dark form roiling with an uncharacteristic energy, spoke up. The Harvester's defeat at Earth has upset the balance of power in this sector of the galaxy. Your world is becoming a beacon for those seeking freedom and safety. General Stryker frowned, ever the pragmatist. We can barely handle our own population's needs with all these changes. How are we supposed to take in alien refugees? Dr. Kapoor, her eyes alight with scientific curiosity, interjected, but think of the knowledge they could bring. Different perspectives on the Nexus, technologies we haven't even dreamed of. This could accelerate our progress exponentially. As the debate raged among Earth's leaders, Samantha felt a familiar presence in her mind. The luminary, though not physically present, communicated directly through the Nexus. The choice you make now, its cosmic voice resonated in Samantha's thoughts, will determine not just Earth's fate, but potentially the course of galactic civilization. Choose wisely. Samantha took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. She stepped forward, her voice cutting through the chaos of the assembly. Ladies and gentlemen, Esteemed leaders of Earth, we have an opportunity here. Yes, taking in these refugees will be challenging. Yes, it will require sacrifices and adjustments. But is that not the very essence of what makes us human? Our ability to adapt, to empathize, to reach out a helping hand even when it's difficult. She gestured to the screens showing the refugee ships. These beings have traveled unimaginable distances, fleeing horrors we can scarcely comprehend. All in the hope that the stories they've heard about Earth are true. That we are a species capable of standing up to the darkness in the galaxy. Are we going to prove them right, or send them back into the void? A murmur ran through the assembly, heads nodding in agreement. Even General Stryker, despite his reservations, couldn't help but be moved by Samantha's words. The Secretary General of the UN stepped forward. I propose an immediate vote, all in favor of granting sanctuary to these alien refugees and beginning the process of Earth's integration into the wider galactic community. Say aye. The response was overwhelming. A resounding chorus of aye echoed through the hall, with only a handful of dissenters. As the decision was made, Samantha felt a surge of approval through the nexus. The luminary's presence faded, but not before leaving a final message. You have chosen well. The real work begins now. Over the next few years, Earth underwent a transformation beyond anything in its history. The influx of alien refugees brought challenges, but also unprecedented opportunities. New cities were built, designed to accommodate a variety of species and incorporate advanced technologies from across the galaxy. The sharing of knowledge led to leaps in science and medicine that eliminated scarcity and cured diseases once thought incurable. Earth's first interstellar embassy was established, with Samantha Chen serving as humanity's primary representative to the Galactic Council. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. There were those who resisted the changes, fearing the loss of human identity in the face of cosmic integration. Fringe groups arose, advocating for Earth's isolation. Samantha and her allies worked tirelessly to bridge the gaps, to show that humanity could retain its unique spirit while embracing its new role in the galaxy. 5 years after the Harvester invasion, Earth hosted the first Galactic Cultural Exchange Festival. In the shadow of the Great Pyramid of Giza, now restored and enhanced with Nexus energy, beings from 100 different worlds gathered to share art, music, and ideas. As Samantha walked through the festival grounds, marveling at the harmony between species that would have once seemed impossibly alien to each other, she felt a familiar presence beside her. The shapeshifter, its form a perfect blend of all the species present, smiled. You've done well, Samantha Chen. Earth has become more than just a refuge. It's become a symbol of hope for the entire galaxy. Samantha nodded, watching as a group of human children played an intricate game with young aliens, their laughter transcending any language barrier. We still have a long way to go, she said. The harvesters are still out there, and I suspect there are other threats we haven't even encountered yet. True, the shapeshifter acknowledged. But you don't face them alone anymore. Earth's example has inspired other worlds. A coalition is forming, dedicated to standing against cosmic threats and fostering understanding between species. As they talked, a commotion near the central stage caught their attention. Dr. Kapoor was unveiling her latest invention, a device that could temporarily grant a non-Nexus user the ability to connect to the cosmic energy field. The implications for diplomacy and cross-species understanding were enormous. General Stryker, who had initially been one of the most skeptical about Earth's new direction, now stood proudly beside a contingent of human and alien peacekeepers. The Earth Defense Force, as it had come to be known, was renowned throughout the sector for its effectiveness and ethical approach to conflict resolution. As the festival reached its peak, a hush fell over the crowd. The air shimmered, and the luminary itself appeared, its radiant form drawing gasps of awe from humans and aliens alike. People of Earth, and honored guests from across the galaxy, its voice resonated through the minds of all present. What has been achieved here is nothing short of miraculous. From a world on the brink of destruction, You have become a beacon of hope and cooperation. The luminaries' form pulsed with approval. The Galactic Council has reached a decision. Earth is hereby granted full membership, with all the rights and responsibilities that entails. Moreover, this world is being designated as a protected nexus of cosmic harmony. May it stand as an example of what can be achieved when beings of goodwill work together in the face of adversity. As cheers erupted from the assembled crowd, Samantha felt a wave of emotion wash over her. The path had not been easy, and challenges still lay ahead. But in this moment, watching beings from across the cosmos celebrating together under Earth's sky, she knew that they had taken the first steps towards a brighter future. The battle for Earth's future had been won, not through force of arms, but through the very qualities that made humanity unique: adaptability, compassion, and an unyielding spirit of exploration and cooperation. As the celebration continued into the night, the stars seemed to shine a little brighter. Earth, once a tiny blue marble in the vast cosmic ocean, had become a shining jewel in the galactic community. The adventure was far from over. In fact, it had only just begun. But whatever challenges the universe might throw their way, Samantha knew that humanity, and their new allies, would face them together. The age of cosmic isolation was over. The era of galactic cooperation had dawned, and the future, vast and full of possibility, beckoned.